I'm sitting in Gokula in my garden, and I've been sitting here for a while with my japa mala. These days I find I can't really survive without the mala, without the name. I'm reminded of, in the opening chapters of the Srimad Bhagavatam, is laid out the foundation of the whole practice of bhakti yoga. And essentially we're told that this is a very difficult age. Now, the Bhagavatam is 5,000 years old, and 5,000 years ago, when the Bhagavatam was first spoken, was the threshold of this difficult age, the age of Kali, which we're now 5,000 years into. And any difficulties, challenges, obstacles, struggles that we may be encountering in our lives, this is just a sample, according to the Bhagavatam, of how the age of Kali is destined to be. And they spoke, as I say, 5,000 years ago. However, the message of the Bhagavatam is specifically spoken for the people of this age, how to overcome the difficulties of the age of Kali. And essentially it comes down to a very simple recommendation. First of all, the Bhagavatam says, Nam. Nam is the Sanskrit word for name. So it's another of those Sanskrit words which has transferred almost unchanged into the English language. Nam, name. There are so many names in this world, and all of them have their origin in the eternal, transcendental names of God. So the Bhagavatam tells us, Nam, simply practice the name. And the chanting on the japa beads is one way, a very effective way to focus my attention on the name, where each bead counts for a mantra. So as I chant each mantra, as I repeat the mantra, I move around 108 beats. Generally, when we converse in this world, we constantly change the subject matter so as to keep it interesting, because things lose their interest. But when it comes to the name, the divine name, you don't need to keep changing it. The Vaishnava tradition acknowledges that God has unlimited names. Sri Chaitanya, he specifically prayed like this. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. You have countless, unlimited names. Nijasava Shaktis, in which you have invested all your potencies in each and every name. Tetrapita Niyamita Tetrapita Niyamita Manase Nakala, I think it goes. That there is no restriction how or when to chant these names. Anytime, any place, anyhow, but somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended. Chant the names of God and find whatever name, speaks to you. Each of us, we may find one or maybe several names that speak. However, whatever name can be repeated. So that's why the beads, the same name is repeated over and over and allowed to sink in, because it's a spiritual sound vibration, unlike the sound vibrations of this temporary realm. The sound vibrations of the eternal spiritual realm are eternally alive. So I can actually, not only are they eternally alive, but they personify, they are themselves what they denote. So the name Krishna denotes Krishna, and that sound is Krishna. So when I enter that space of vibrating the sacred name, repeating over and over and over and over, and in the beginning, my mind may rebel. That's possible. But as I deepen my absorption in the name, my mind starts to surrender to the holy name, and I start to enter a different plane of reality. So sitting here, as I tend to do in the mornings, and hearing the sound of the name, sometimes that blessing arises where I feel myself drawn into a different reality. And this morning I was reminded, I picked up, as I sometimes do, this beautiful book produced by Srila Prabhupada, my Guru. It's the Nectar of Instruction. The original text was written 500 years ago by Rupa Goswami, and Prabhupada produced a beautiful sort of 100-page. In Rupa Goswami's text there are 11 Sanskrit verses. So Prabhupada produced, he made the translation and commentaries, less than 100 pages, the total book. So I just happened to open on text number 9, and Prabhupada's commentary begins with these words. The spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, of course, this is not a numerical, mathematical explanation. It's just to give us an idea that the totality of God's creation is far expanded beyond what we perceive. And with my eyes, with my own senses, I can perceive really very little on the material plane. Scientists, with the help of their telescopes and their radio telescopes and so on, they can perceive vastly more. But whether they really, truly perceive, that's another question. But there are indications that this material creation is itself almost unlimited in its stretch. Yet, the Vedas tell us this is just 1/4 of the total. creation of God. So it's to give us an idea. So Prabhupada begins with those words. So this 3/4 of the creation, he says, is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. So this world, for me, I have to say, I find it extraordinary. I love nature. Because nature is the undiluted creation of God, without having been sort of artificially manipulated for the sake of human purposes. However, nature is also temporary, and nature has both a positive and also, you could say, a negative outcome. The weather can be pleasant and it can be awful. This material body can be beautiful, but it can also be miserable, and so on. Essentially, life in this world, especially in this age of Kali, is short and full of distress. So something else that Krishna says, and I have it here in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about birth and death, and he speaks about what lies beyond this world of samsara. Samsara of repeated birth and death. He says, those elevated souls who come to me find the ultimate perfection. They never return to this fleeting place of sorrows. And then Krishna paints a very graphic image of this fleeting place. He says, the material worlds, even Brahma's heaven, are places of endless rebirth. Endless rebirth. We are all eternal beings. Naturally we feel, we don't feel comfortable in an ever-changing temporary world, because my nature is to seek the eternal. So then Krishna says, however, this world is a place of endless rebirth. However, one who reaches me is never reborn. And then he describes how Brahma is the creator of the material realm. He's the supervisor of this earthly sphere. Brahma's day lasts 1,000 ages, and his night is of the same duration. Know this, and you know the meaning of night and day. So night and day in the, literally Brahma is more than the supervisor of the earthly realm. He's the supervisor of the entire cosmos, which includes many planets. But on the earthly realm, our night and day last for one revolution around the sun. Have I got that right? No, sorry, one revolution of our planet. Our year is one revolution around the sun. But Brahma's day lasts infinitely longer than ours does. However, he still has a night and a day. And during Brahma's day, Krishna says, in Brahma's dawn, all creatures awaken. And when night falls, when Brahma's night falls, all creatures once more merge into sleep. So there is a time scale which is vastly greater than the one we experience. Life and death is like night and day, or day and night. Life is like day, and death is like night, and night is followed again by day. So after death comes, there is another dawn, another lifetime. Again and again, Krishna says, that the day comes and this host of beings is active. Again, the night falls and they are helplessly dissolved. But then he wants to impress upon us that there is another realm. Above this dormant matter, hidden from view, is another eternal nature. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So that eternal reality is hidden from view. It's hidden from my material senses. I cannot see it, I cannot hear it, I cannot feel it normally. However, with the practice of devotion, and especially I'm recommending with the vibration of the holy name, that hidden place starts to become revealed. And Krishna says that hidden place is called imperishable and the supreme destination. Those who go there, never return. That is my supreme abode. The supreme person in whom all beings rest and who pervades the world can be reached by unwavering devotion. So now is a very good time. It's a very special time for all of us all over the world. Somehow or another, for reasons I can't possibly understand, we have been, a lot of us have been brought to stillness. And this is a wonderful time to put aside my sorrows, my anxieties. I'm sure for some of you, there are certainly, I'm sure, anxieties to do with, the needs of life, with just trying to maintain a peaceful life. I'm sure there are for some people, many obstacles. I'm very fortunate because I have a fairly stable place here. But whatever it is that is troubling my mind, put it aside in the silence, which we do have access to, many of us, and focus on this other realm, which Krishna says is imperishable and is a place of true peace and joy. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,